Well, I bet these parents are very proud of their kid.
What the hell?
Sick, twisted individuals, as of course the left has a little bit of a radicalization problem. But some people are saying, well, there's a little bit more nuance to this conversation, especially everything that, of course, has just happened with Charlie Kirk. As Candace Owens has come out and now is talking about a gag order that will not stop her. What is she particularly referring to? As Dinesh D'Souza now has come out and talked about his own individual text messages with Charlie Kirk right before his passing that highlight him not trying to, quote, platform Nick Fuentes. What in the world's going on here? As Jack Posobiec is coming out and presenting new evidence, new information with the huge amount of evidence that allegedly has been collected against Tyler Robinson that the FBI is building a case on, as Tyler Robinson, for the first time ever, spoke in court. What did he say? What was his request? Well, we're going to be getting into that, as well as some of the kind of weirder, stranger comments by Kash Patel, the director of the FBI. And I have a more of a nuanced take on it, because I agree there's some people that have just lost their marbles, but I also do agree there does deserve to be some serious questions asked here that hopefully do get answered. Now, we're going to be getting into that and a lot more all here on this independent media broadcast. If you appreciate these type of nuanced conversations, subscribe, click the notification button. We greatly appreciate all the time that you, of course, spend with us. Now, let's just get right into it. As Candace Owens just posted yesterday, a few hours ago, quote, "Don't worry about the gag order in the Charlie Kirk case. I plan to violate it on the world's behalf. The things I've discovered this past week are enough to burn the house down." Yes, Charlie was portrayed by everyone. Now, again, I'm not a big fan of these kind of like generalized statements. You have something, release it. But Candace Owens has been willing and has produced receipts. There's no denying that. A lot of people are like, she's a bad faith actor. She's just doing this for clicks and attention. I think she already gets a lot of clicks and attention. Personally, I don't think she's just doing this for clicks and attention, personally, myself. I think there also is a layer of emotion, a layer of involvement, especially with how far her and Charlie go back, that I think is worth noting and particularly talking about here. But I do believe that there are some legitimate kind of concerns, especially with the way that things have been officially handled here. But there's also a lot of bad actors out there talking about palm weapons, exploding microphones, his own security guards that were in on it that are just wacky. They're just totally loony. There's also a lot of other people pointing direct blame at his wife, which I think is ridiculous. There's a lot of mockery. There's a lot of people attacking a lot of the people that were closest to him, and I find that ridiculous as well. So I think there's a healthy middle here. Now, again, what is she going to be coming out with now that allegedly is going to burn the house down? What does she mean, betrayed by everyone? That's a very big statement. Again, Candace has been willing to produce and has produced receipts. What claim is she directly making here? Again, she's speaking in generalizations. I'm not the biggest fan of that. As I asked, what's going on here? And people are responding to this, saying that she has Charlie Kirk derangement syndrome. Quote, "Pray for a cure." This is by Amari King. Peter B says, "Candace is and always will be a spiritual liberal." I don't know what that has to do. Cat Turd, of course, is like coming out and saying she's wacky. I don't think she's wacky. Morgan O'Reilly says, "Expose it all." Yeah, let's just get it all out. And most people here are saying this is gaslighting, you're siding with the left, you're protecting the left here. Now, when it comes to this gag order, I'm like, wait, was she just individually gag ordered? I haven't heard that. She hasn't stated that. And I'm trying to understand what's really going on here. And Bricksuit Guy says, nakedness, engagement, farming on her part. Quote, "They don't stop liars from talking." Another Mignus says, A. Brown says, "I believe it's a genetic gag order, nothing specific to her." And then I looked into the gag order, and it looks like it is a very kind of generalized gag order here, as we have Andrea Bookhart reading it. a couple hours ago when the gag order kind of came down. And I think this is what she's referring to, unless, of course, Candace was directly affected by a gag order, which I don't think she has, and she hasn't produced any evidence. But I think this is what she's referring to.
State of Utah, State versus Tyler Robinson. This is the protection order regarding pretrial and trial publicity. So we have the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, is charged with 1 count of aggravated murder and other felonies. These are like the predicate findings that are going into the order. The case has generated and is likely to continue to generate significant pretrial and trial publicity. That publicity can compromise defendant Tyler James Robinson's right to do.
And then the gag order goes on and says people involved in this shouldn't be talking to the media, right? That doesn't mean Candace, right? There's also some things that Candace got wrong, especially with the private jet allegations. So let's admit and let's call it out as fairly as we can here. As we have this from the TimesNowNews.com talking about how Tyler Robinson was eating ice cream. Owens questions prosecutor's timeline in Charlie Kirk shooting. And of course, Candace has been questioning everything here. Some people say in bad faith, some people say in good faith. She's got some things right, she's got some things wrong. We have the Misfit Patriot, who has his own opinion on the matter, and he claims that she's just, quote, lying for clout, and that she's not associated with this case, so she could comment on it as a podcaster and monetize it, which he accuses her of being her primary type of motivation. And again, I disagree with that. There's also now voluminous evidence that has been released here. We got insights into what a lot of this evidence is. But before getting into some of the new evidence, some of the latest allegations, Dinesh D'Souza and his alleged text message exchange with Charlie Kirk, we wanted to tell you about LukeUnfiltered.com. It is the way to support us, voting with your dollar. If you like what we've been doing here for over 20 years, support us. We definitely greatly appreciate your direct support and assistance. It means a lot to us, and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys being as generous as you guys have been to me. And again, 20 cents a day, $8 a month, you can't even get a latte for that much, to be quite honest with you. 3 master classes. You get access to me in a Telegram chat where we get to talk and hang out. Lots of really crazy, wild, unhinged conversations happening there that I enjoy and that are fun. Some of them are a little bit too wild, but you know, it comes with the territory here. So expect some wild stuff in the Telegram group chat. Of course, we watch videos, I share my meditations sometimes there when I do my meditations. And it's just a great way for one-on-one contact. I'm going to be doing a members-only live stream sometime soon. So stay tuned for that and a lot more. And this is just the way. And again, I'm not supported by any country. I'm not supported by any special interest group. I'm sick. I'm still working because I understand that I have a duty and a responsibility to you. And if you appreciate that, LukeUnfiltered.com is where you could go. And you could sign up for 20 cents a day. Now, let's get back to the court proceedings here, because I think they are important, as Tyler Robinson finally spoke.
Latest court hearing was brief, but some interesting things did happen, including one issue that could impact thousands of people here in Utah.
Good morning. Court is now in session.
Tyler Robinson was not present for the hearing. Instead, he listened in from the Utah County Jail. Lawyers focused on upcoming issues like evidence from the crime scene.
There is a substantial amount of discovery in this case, Your Honor. It's voluminous, to say the least.
His lawyers entered their formal appearance and declined to waive his right to a preliminary hearing.
Yep, they're postponing some of the hearings because they're saying there's so much evidence, right? We've been given so much. We need time to go through it all. This is what the defense attorneys have been saying.
Judge Tony Graff has issued a gag order preventing anyone associated with the case from talking about it. It's to avoid pretrial publicity, already a big problem in a case with massive media exposure involving...
Yeah, I mean, everyone's going to be talking about this. Now, why is the judge doing this? He's making an argument that he doesn't want to impact the jury. Now, it's going to be very difficult to find a jury that right now isn't like politically motivated, right? Or has some kind of strong opinion on what happened to Charlie. Overwhelmingly, you see a lot of people on the left celebrating it. You see a lot of people on the right making this one of their core issues, and obviously rightfully so, since so many people were impacted by this direct political assassination that has rocked this nation. Now, is this gag order going to allow them to actually have a jury? I don't think it's going to make much of a difference, but according to the judge here, he's ruling, hey guys, stop talking. We need to make sure we have a jury here that's going to be good. Tyler Robinson also spoke for the first time, making a request that he be able to wear civilian clothes. Now, why is that? Why is Tyler Robinson saying, hey, I want to wear civilian clothes here? Well, he's dressed right now, every time he makes appearances to the court, in a type of self-harm resistant clothing, which makes him look, it's like these like huge body bags that they put on you. Epstein allegedly had it when he self-exited, which doesn't add up. Doesn't make sense. That story was why a lot of people, that story is why a lot of people have questions about what in the world actually is the FBI doing here. And if the FBI was honest about that, more people would believe them now. And it's like a big battle of confidence that they've lost by just lying to us and just being disrespectful to us. Now, let's get back here to this particular topic. Tyler Robinson, we never seen him speak. We never seen him say anything. But now, the first thing he ever said is he's making an official request through his lawyers so he could wear civilian clothes. Now, if there's a jury, if they're looking at him in this like prison self-harm crazy like wild type of uniform, they kind of vilify him. And I think Tyler Robinson understands that. I think he's a lot more smarter and methodical than a lot of people make him out to be. His intelligence, according to a lot of sources, was pretty smart, even though he sent a weird kind of text message exchange kind of admitting to everything, which was kind of weird. Anyway, regardless of that, we have to understand. I think he understands. If there's going to be a jury that somehow is not affected by this, doesn't hear about this, doesn't know about this, sees him as a regular kid, rather than this type of like lionized, vilified type of criminal with criminal clothing on, he understands that is going to make an effect on the jury. And I think that's what he is doing. Now, again, the hearing is being pushed back. Defense lawyers are saying this is we got way too much stuff.
A high-profile figure like Charlie Kirk, but the judge wants to ensure a fairer trial for Robinson. It's also brought up a big issue involving thousands of people.
We're seeking some clarification with respect to the phrase all witnesses, Your Honor. There are a number of witnesses that have yet to be identified that will likely be used in the state's case. This occurred in front of 2,000 to 3,000 students at Utah Valley University. So we're in the process of identifying those witnesses. And so those individuals are presently unknown right now.
The court will rule that as the witnesses become known to each side, that information is conveyed to abide by this order. Obviously, there are potentially many witnesses, and so it's not the expectation that you would be able to do that up front, but as they become known.
The judge made it clear.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people. I want to talk to, I want the family, I want to know what they knew. The furry boyfriend, I want to know what he knew, as he allegedly destroyed the letter, allegedly, according to the official version of events, that Tyler wrote, allegedly admitting all of this. Text message exchange, so weird. I want to see the full text message exchange. I also want to see the full video from the rooftop. We still never got that. We got edited. Now, allegedly, there's also a palm print that connects Tyler from being on the roof with that video. But again, play the full video. Give us more of the text message exchange to see how these people were talking, see if this is a strange circumstance or not. Now, his family and the furry boyfriend have gone missing. Some people are saying that they're being charged. Some people are saying that they're being investigated. Some people are claiming that they're cooperating. Now, what's going on here? I don't know. The case is still being worked on, and hopefully we find out sometime soon.
He wants to ensure Robinson's constitutional rights will be protected, as well as the rights of the victim.
Counsel, regardless of who is watching, whether it is the nation or a single individual, we must fulfill our roles with integrity, civility, and diligence. I encourage each of you to give your very best to this case. Neither Mr. Robinson nor the people of Utah deserve anything less than the fair and impartial administration of justice.
Any comment? Outside court, lawyers declined to comment. Any comment?
Not today. Not today.
That's probably because of the gag order. Now, I've talked to people at TPUSA, and they're like, look, I don't know what I can say. I don't know what I can't say because I'm a part of this investigation. I'm being interviewed. I'm being questioned. And I'm being told, hey, there's a gag order. So there probably will be very limited from saying anything else.
Thanks, though.
Robinson will be back here in court in person for another hearing on October 30th. In Provo, Ben Winslow.
We, of course, are going to be covering all the latest update. October 30th, 10 days from now, you are going to be hearing another update from us with those court updates that are happening right now. Now, what's a lot of this new voluminous type of evidence? Well, there's a lot to get into now. As there's, of course, a new video released by TMZ a couple days ago, 3 days ago, showing Tyler Robinson walking with a limp prior to allegedly taking shots at and shooting Charlie Kirk. Now, you could see him walking here in a very kind of strange way. Now, he definitely doesn't seem to be walking like that. Now, this is after the shooting here. You see him in what looks like someone's backyard. There was also an abandoned building there that the university owned, that Candace Owens previously brought up as well here. And Jack Posobiec points, hey, look, this is Tyler Robinson. He's walking with a limp. As people are saying, the rifle was in his pants. Now, a lot of people are saying, with the way that he was walking, especially up those stairs, that there's no way he could have had a rifle down his pants. And then I would kind of agree with that assessment, especially if you see him walking down here. But there's also another assessment to kind of think about, and that is the very fact, and this is the footage of him allegedly running away and coming back out. Now, another assessment, and I thought this was kind of a smart take on it, is that he just wasn't holding the rifle just directly in his pants because it's a huge rifle. He had it here underneath his armpit, right? And in his pant leg. And when you look at the kind of full length, you're able from your knee all the way to your armpit, especially if you have the butt or the stock or the barrel underneath your armpit and you're kind of holding it with your elbow, you're able to, of course, bend your knees and then walk around. Now, the whole towel thing, that was another conspiracy. They're like, no way, he didn't have a rifle when he jumped off. There's other people who did similar video documentation of running around with the towel and a long firearm-like object from that similar type of distance, and with the kind of camera for resolution, it looked almost identical, to be quite honest with you, to be just straightforward with you. Now, Dinesh D'Souza has come out and had this to say, which also has a lot of eyeballs opening up wide here surrounding this story.
To have certain taboos set to the side, people say what they really think. I'm thinking here of like the Nick Fuenteses of the world. I would rather let them speak within the bounds of what's legal. That's kind of the Elon Musk standard, rather than try to somehow shut them down or suppress them.
Well, he's a good example, too, because you've engaged him head on.
And I agree with that. If there's a bad theory out there, I think there's a lot of bad theories out there. I think there's a couple of yokels out there.
How many
that are literally talking about, oh, microphone exploding like a pager. Ugh. No idea about how explosives work. Absolutely ridiculous claim. In this notion, I agree. Absolutely. A lot of people just carte blanche was like, no, these people aren't deserve. No, you deserve to have a conversation. Let's talk about explosives. Let's talk about how they work. Let's talk about how, a pager explosion thing would work. Let's see how it would look. And let's actually have a real conversation about it. I agree. I find it ridiculous, but let's talk about it.
and you've
Exactly.
had a discussion. Instead of calling for his silencing and suppression and censorship, you had a conversation with him.
Right. And I will tell you, just between us, well, not just between us,
Well, it's between you and everybody else.
because we're on my podcast, but
Yeah.
even Charlie Kirk
Turn
was
it off
very,
real quick. Cut your mic.
Yeah, that's right. Even Charlie Kirk was very unnerved that I was doing the debate with Fuentes. He sent me some like very manic text to the effect like, why are you like platforming this guy? Almost as if in the wishful hope that not to platform him is somehow going to be to going to cut him off from public recognition. But, you know, Nick was...
And again, Charlie Kirk, he platformed a lot of very kind of radical, nuanced voices. He had Cenk Uygur up there. He had Dave Smith. He had a lot of people arguing and debating about some controversial issues. But he did not platform Nick Fuentes, and that's true.
Had kind of a gathering storm of followers. A lot of young people who were attracted to him precisely because he was Mr. I will say what you're thinking without any sense of being of restriction.
Yeah, to the point where Nick Fuentes was goading, attacking, and saying, Charlie, debate me. You're afraid. You're terrified of me. And that was happening kind of behind the scenes here. Now, was Charlie Kirk trying to prevent the platforming of Nick Fuentes? I don't know about that. I need to see these, quote, alleged manic text messages to get more of an understanding. But at this point, my one common plea to a lot of these people, whether it's Dinesh or Candace, just release it. Let's stop talking in generalizations. Let's stop hinting. Let's just be direct. Show the evidence. Show the proof. Let's go. I think that's needed more than ever. If you agree, share this video. I want to be here for you guys sharing, subscribing, signing up to lookandfilter.com for 20 cents a day. And this is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more. All here exclusively on youtube.com/weareChange.